Good Tuesday to you, everybody in Gov 603. Welcome to week Boom 6. How's everybody doing? How you holding in there? Hanging in there. Hold on. What do we have here today? Sam A. Baker, beautiful state park in the state of Missouri, my current place of residence. Highly recommend it. All right, that's better. A little more caffeine. Put your instructor in good form. How's everybody doing? All right, week 6, we're nearing about the halfway point for the semester. So this is kind of a tough part of the semester because you're not close enough to modular week, Thanksgiving break, where you get a little bit of a rest, but you are still in the thick of it. So hang on, you're doing fine. Okay, let's talk about the material for this week. All right, we are, and I'm going to have a little throat lozenge because I've got a little bit of a sore throat. Okay, we're going to talk some more about statistical sampling and hypothesis testing. Okay, specifically, we're going to talk about external validity. Now, I've given you links to a number of articles, and I don't expect that you memorize everything in the article. So, for instance, there's a resource that I use online called Conjointly, and when you go to Conjointly, say for the first reading, the first selection, it'll say external validity. You only have to read that topic. You'll see down at the bottom the button says next topic. You don't have to go to the next topic. All right. Likewise, when you click on sampling terminology, it's just what's on that page, and so on and so forth. And there are 5 reading resources for this week. Nothing from your textbook, okay? And they're all provided in the module. Excuse me. So make sure that you do that. Make sure that you're familiar with the major terms that come in each of these. What is external validity? What are the sampling terminologies, the various terms of sampling, statistical terms in sampling? What's a variable? What's a statistic? What's a parameter? What's a sampling distribution? Okay. Make sure that you're familiar with this. Likewise, probability sampling. Know the standard definitions for the abbreviation. N is the number of cases in the sampling frame, uppercase N. Lowercase n is the number of cases in the sample, so on and so forth. So familiarize yourself with that as you read these little short articles. Okay. Likewise, your midterm exam is coming up in the 15th of October. So it's not exactly right around the corner, but I wanted to give you a heads up. And in the module this week, you're going to find a midterm examination review sheet. Now, anything on the midterm exam will be things that we've covered in the discussion section. All right. So if it's a term or a process, it's fair grade game from weeks 1 through 8. So obviously, there's some weeks that we haven't covered yet because this is only week 6, so we've got a couple more to go. On the instructional sheet, I'm going to tell you, what the exam is like. That is what it'll be composed of. It'll be a variety of questions: true, false, short, answer, fill in the blank, multiple choice. There is 100 points possible for the test. It'll have 25 questions, varying in point value from 1 to 4. Right? This is a closed book, no notes, no internet exam. It's time. You've got 60 minutes. Once you start on a question, you cannot go back. It's a go forward only. And don't click finish until you're finished, because Canvas doesn't know if you gave up. Don't give up. Okay. And it's going to throw you out. All right. I'll open up the test on Sunday in the wee hours of the AM, and I will close the test on Sunday the 15th, and I will close the test on Monday the 16th at 11:59 Eastern Daylight Time. So you'll have the better part of 24 hours to take the test to get in there. Okay, so start studying for the exam. Okay, and then of course for this week, take a look at the discussion questions, and they're in the discussion section in Canvas. And these are questions that are, they're aimed at getting you to define and understand the terms. All right. Now, likewise, in terms of where we're at in assignments, you should have turned in part 1 of your research paper, which was due on the 24th. If you didn't, you need to get in touch with me because now you're late. All right. I'll be grading those this week and giving you some feedback. But I want to remind you what the design here is, what the idea here is with the paper. It's one paper broken into 2 parts. I'm going to grade part 1 and be very, very intent on giving you feedback concerning your writing and your research. You'll use that part 1 to complete the paper that is to do part 2. Since writing is rewriting, if you correct the issues that I point out in part 1 and then don't repeat them in part 2, if you score higher on part 2, and I'm talking about percentage, okay, 60, 70, 80, 90%. If you score higher, I'll raise your grade to the same level. So let's just say, just hypothetically, that you get 80% on part 1. And then in part 2, because you follow my recommendations, you do more of what I say, hey, do more of this, and you don't do what I say, hey, don't do that, and you correct the mistakes, like say editing or proof, reading or citations or whatever. And on part 2, you get a 95 percentile. I'll go back and change part 1 to 95% of the total points available. If for some reason you go down in part 2, I will not lower the score for part 1. Okay. So as I'm grading through those, I want you to keep that in mind. All right. So no textbook readings, linked source readings, questions designed to get you to understand. And sometimes with these terms, the best and the only way to remember them is to memorize them. Okay, but you have to develop the vocabulary around empirical research if you're going to do it, and then if you're going to understand it when you read it. That's just the way it is. All right, everybody, that's it. A little short video introducing you to the material for this week. In my next video, we'll review your material from last week, and we'll, I hope add something in that deepens your understanding of what we're doing. And I will see you on Canvas. God bless. Bye-bye.